Just tested that. Yeah, Sveno Mick here from Swenson's Mowing and Grounds Maintenance and Landscaping, or whatever you want to do. Well, anyhow, I'm just out heading towards the Broom Pocket Dam. And I just thought I'd show you this. Now normally you won't see it from here because it all blends in, but you can see it as clear as day. As clear as nightfall as day, we will say. There is Mount QLD. I've got this iPad zoomed right in. Wait, this car goes past. There's Mount QLD, right at the back, and you can see the reflection. Well, that's the ocean. This is out North Maleny Road heading down towards the Broom Pocket Dam. But just thought I'd show you that, because normally that's the sun reflecting off the ocean. It's absolutely beautiful, clear day here today, but it's about 9 o'clock in the morning, Saturday morning, and we're in the first week of July. It's supposed to be Muscle on the Mountain, our car show here this weekend that I'm involved in, but it's a no-go with this COVID, but that's the way it is. And that's the second year because we got washed out last year. But anyhow, just looking at this, so there's the ocean. I don't know, as the crow flies, you can see that hump, that, like I say, that's Mount QLD. That's near the Maroochydore Airport. As the crow flies, I wouldn't have a clue how many kilometres it is. It's a fair distance. Anyhow, but what I'm just saying here this morning, so hide the little China skid steer off mate, and we've got that side of it done. So potentially next week going to hire about a 2-ton mini digger, doing a little bit of cutting out and that with that, but we'll just see how we get on, whether I'll dry hire one or get an operator in, but it works out a fair bit cheaper to dry hire it, especially with me operating it. So it's just my hourly rate plus the daily hire rate, so that works out well. Been a very busy week. Run around like a blue ass fly. Yeah, probably done quite reasonably well. I would not say as well as doing my previous job, but a lot more enjoyment working for myself. Really enjoying it actually. So that takes far away from if you're not doing financially quite as well. But that's the way that is. But so anyhow, I'm dropping this trailer off to my son's place because we're shifting the we're shifting the little skid steer with the trailer, and so that's all done and dusted for the week. Saturday morning, got a lawn to do this afternoon and some light hedging. I don't get right into the hedging, so it's only very light hedging, and I'm going to leave it at that. I don't think there's much else I've got to say. Like I say, it's a beautiful clear day here today, but it's windy, it's cold. I suppose you get that when you're in the middle of winter, and it's probably the first really windy day we've had. Now it's coming from the west, I think, because I was pretty sure it's coming around from the back, so it's a westerly. And yeah, another lovely day on the Sunshine Coast, and I don't know if I've got much else to say. I'm actually feeling a bit buggered. The old back's a bit sore. That's to be expected. Oh, it's even shaking the car here, the wind, and I had to get. I was going to film outside, but it was too windy. So we're just in front of the Broom Pocket Dam sign here. So I'll just spin around, and there she blows right there. Oh, listen to that wind. I don't know if you can hear that on the camera. So 3.65 kilometres. So we've just gone out the roundabout out there at North Maleny Road, and we've turned left heading towards the dam. And it's actually a nice dam to go paddling on. There's a rainforest tree there. I'm not too 100% sure, but I think it's a bumpy ash. But no doubt I'll get corrected on that. That's on the left there. And there's some deciduous trees down there. I don't know what they are. There's a patch of them. They're planted. Over behind that old white house over there, you can see on the left hand side, that's where I grew up until I was 18 years of age. So where you can see those patch of trees there, and just directly on the left is a house. Our old house is the other side of that, and it still stands to this day. It was the old Swenson house. And to the right, of, you can just see a white thing sticking up beside a quarry in the far ground. That's the old Reeseville quarry. That's Howes Knob. That's the highest point just in and around Maleny, but it's not as high as the knob out at Witter, which is and then let me think. Oh gee, that's bad, isn't it? I've lived around here all my life and I can't even remember. I used to go bike riding out there a lot. It's at the top end of Chinaman's Creek. But anyhow, there's the water tower. You can see just a white thing sticking up beside the top of the trees. And there's the house down, and my dad used to carry it. We used to have a pump down there, so you can see that house with the shed beside it. Back in the foreground, there's a little old dam. It's got all lilies all over it, or all weed actually. And my dad used to, we had a pump down there. We used to pump up from down at the out of the dam. We had a well below that my mate Billy Lusk, his dad Jimmy Lusk, which passed away over 10 years ago, he dug that by hand. Dad contracted him to dig that well. That was beautiful clean water in that well. Used to save us buying water in. My dad had a mum and dad had a water tank too on the back of the truck. They used to do water deliveries up here many years ago in the 70s, early 70s, along with many other things. But that's the back end of, up there, that's the back end of Bridge Creek Road estate, and go past through the GQ. Well, there you can go down those houses, those far houses. Like I say, that's the back end of Palm Street, heading down Bridge Creek Road, and that takes you down to what they call Frogs, what we used to call Frogs Hollow, or Bridge Creek Road. I know it as Frogs Hollow. And the hills right out in the back, in the way in the distance, that's the Conondales, Conondale Ranges, beautiful up in there, massive big timbers. So this is looking from, I've got my back to the east, so it's looking, well, that's actually probably looking directly west there towards the old water tower, and the hills way off as the Conondales. But I'm going to leave it at that. This was a great place to grow up. There's a lot of camphor laurel and rubbish down here now, but then they've been clearing a few. But yeah, was a lovely place to grow up. Very quiet back then. Very quiet little town. I think we only had 300 kids from year 1, or preschool through to year 12 in the 70s when I was going to school, and I left school at the end of 77. So hopefully this isn't shaking too much, because I'm trying to hold it as still as I can, but just with it zoomed in, it moves a bit. But I'm going to leave it at that. So Sveno Mick out from Swenson's Mowing and Grounds Maintenance, and no doubt I'll put something up maybe by the end of the weekend, or even sometime next week. Sveno Mick out.